Dr. M. Subbiah is an assistant professor in mathematics in LN Government College, Poneri. He has specialized on statistics interdisciplinary. Being interested in active research program and mathematical or statistical modeling, he has knowledge in operating various softwares on statistical tools and on technical computing. Having 16 years of teaching experience, he has published papers in 8 national and international journals and has also presented papers in 10 national and international conferences.
Welcome to the UGC lecture series on mathematical sciences. So, the topic of discussion for this session is Bayes theorem. So, this is based on the idea of conditional probability and total probability. So, how we calculate a probability of an event which is conditioned on or based on certain other events through the result called Bayes theorem. So, the topic is a quick review or the idea of conditional probability, then the idea of total probability, then we have an theorem statement and a simple mathematical proof for understanding the Bayes theorem completely, then few examples also following the Bayes theorem as well as certain examples we prefer to discuss prior to the Bayes theorem statement as well as the proof, because in general solving probability problems cannot be considered systematically a mathematical formulation and so on, where we apply formulas straight away understanding the given data and but here while solving the problems where probability is involved, the reasoning of the problem is much more important here. So, a problem can be solved in maybe more than 1 or 2 methods, that is always acceptable. Of course, pure deterministic problem also have these qualities, but probability problems are more exposed to this kind of approaches. Therefore, the problem cannot be or it need not be considered as a very systematic approaches to Bayes theorem and then understand with an example. Rather, we try to find out problems or the situations through which we find out where the conditional probabilities are systematically involved in the given situation, and we try to understand how Bayes theorem is being used in the given situation. So, generally the problem of these kind of examples, we should understand clearly the situations, what is being given and what could be the way to arrive the answer through the available mathematical formulas or theorems and so on. Though the availability or the usage of that rule mathematical rules sometime may be surpassed, we may not use them, because we have a better or other way of need not be better or best the comparison point of view. We may have an alternative way of thinking, so that we get the solution in the other methods also. Anyways, the examples point of view, I start with this simple case. So, a design contest, product X will get an award for its design with the probability 0.36. So, this is one case where we have a idea, and then for efficient use of materials, that is 0.26. So, one case would be award for its design and other one would be efficient use of materials, and here this 0.14 represents the probability for both award for design as well as for efficient use. So, this is the given information. What is being asked to calculate, if it did not get the award for the efficient use of materials, then we need to find the probability for getting in design award. So, there are two cases for us, one here and one more information given is if it did not get the award for the efficient use of materials. So, we have seen that basically we have two events, 1 we may specify A as award for design and B for the efficient use of material, efficient use of material. So, we have two events and let us find out the data given to us. P of A is known to us, P of B is also given as 0.26. Then the idea for both P of A intersection B will be 0.14. These are all the given information to you. So, what is being asked? We are supposed to calculate P of, I am interested in what? Find the probability that the product X will get the design award. So, design award we have symbolized as A, but what is been given already? If it did not get the award for efficient use. So, efficient use is B, but it did not get, therefore, I have the complement of it. So, A given B dash. So, the necessity for conditional probability arises based on the requirement. That is what I want to highlight in this example, but rest of the things are quite mathematical formulas. So, the reasoning here ends at this particular point where we collect the data, given information and find out what is being calculated. So, find the probability that the product will get the design, that is A, with the additional information that B complement, because it says that it did not get the award for the efficient use. So, now it is mere expressions of this kind where this can be written as P of A minus P of A intersection B divided by 1 minus P of B. So, numericals are direct. So, I just plug them here 0.36 minus 0.14 divided by 1 minus of 0.26. So, these calculations are not that much final answer anyway. The idea is in what way the problem expects or require the conditional probability, that is the information or that is the takeaway from these particular cases, where we try to understand with the help of two events we may coin or we may have to apply conditional probability based on the given question or the given situation. This is what I mean to say the probability reasoning. So, the given information and what is required to calculate, once we understand, then few mathematical relations would be helpful. So, this example is one among them. Then I have another example also. A person commutes to work by two different routes A and B. If he comes home by route A, then he will be home not later than 6 p.m. with probability 0.7, but if he comes home by route B, then he will be home not later than 6 p.m. with probability 0.8. Then some more information is added. In the past, he chose route A with probability 0.6. So, we need to read this example with much more care, because how many events are described in this situation. So, a person commutes to work by two different routes A and B. So, there are two different routes, and last part also provides another information regarding this. So, he is choosing two different routes A and B. From his behavior, it could be observed that he chose the route A with the probability 0.6. That means, obviously, the complement or 1 minus 0.6 will be the probability for choice of route B. So, these two information are quite connected, and we should understand that he is choosing either A or B with the respective probability 0.6 and 0.4. Then one more information here is, if he comes home by route A, then he will be home not later than. So, one more behavior for that person is being described, which is nothing but what is the way he returns to home. So, he will be home not later than 6 p.m. Once again the similar information you could find out, he will be home not later than 6 p.m. In what sense? If he chooses A, what is the probability that he reaches home by not later than by 6, and similarly what will happen if you choose the route B. So, there are 3 or roughly 4 events you could observe, maybe with numerical understanding or the given description. My point of view is one should clearly understand the description of the problem together with the given numerical part also, because both are important. That will give description of the problem, gives you how many events and is there any connection between them. So, in the previous problem we observed that there are 2 events, but they are connected by AND, that means intersection. Therefore, basically we could observe 3 numerical values. So, the number of events and the numerical values given in the problem need not be exactly same one to one. Sometime we may have to connect one to another. In this case, if you observe, the probability of the choice of A is alone is enough 0.6, because the next is B, which is absolutely complement of that. Therefore, only one number is provided as far as the choice of the route is concerned, A. However, there are 2 more numbers if you observe 0.7 and 0.8. What do they refer? Actually, they refer that if he chooses A, what will happen to his home by what time? 6 p.m. Returning home by 6 p.m. is a common event we could observe, which is explained whether he chooses route A, so that the reaching home will be 0.7. If he chooses route B, reaching home by 6 will be 0.8. So, reaching home by not later than 6 is a common event, which is a cause or which is affected by the choice of the route. So, this is the way the description of the problem has to be clearly understood, and then connect those data or those description with the given information in what way. So, basically this problem requires 3 events. One is the choice, I mean 2 of them are choice of path A, I mean route A and route B, the third is common. Therefore, the number you could observe 1, 2, 3, they refer for different purposes. This is for the choice of routes 0.6 and implicitly 0.4 we could understand. These are all, these 2 numbers are very straight informations for the another characteristics about the person or about the problem. So, we should conclude that there must be 3 events. The second part of the description is these 2 are mutually exclusive. If he chooses A, he will not choose B, that is the property being used to arrive that probability of choosing B is 0.4. Then these 2 are conditional probability. So, I provide the answer straight away, presuming that you could understand from the previous example, because the probability that he reaches home by 6 is conditioned or it is based on influenced by the choice of the path. If it is A, 0.7, if it is B, then it is going to be 0.8. So, we need to apply or we need to use conditional probability here. This is what the first part I would like to explain. Reading a probability problem would be easy in the first reading, then deciphering the information starts from how many events we need and how we are going to connect with the given numerical part. Thirdly, do we need to have some relation between the given events, might be intersection, union, complement or now conditional probability, etc., etc. So, each case might require a mathematical relation, set theoretical relation between the given events. It might be, it may not be always in the given problem, but we need to search them cautiously how to connect the numerical part with the given events. Do they or do we need to relate straight away from then definitions to a definition of an event to the number or some relation. So, here we have 2 numbers straight away related and 2 numbers we have to connect through conditional probability. So, ultimately we have to work out with 4 numbers, but one is quite implicit. That is what I want to convey, that the numbers the number of numerical data or the given event description may not match explicitly in the given example or the given problem. We need to understand clearly how to define it first of all, and how to decipher the event numbers, their relation and the numerical part. So, in what way this is going to help us to define something called the Bayes theorem. Just now we observed that the way we decipher the information from a given problem is very much important. Then the second part of the problem is to understand the question. What proportion of time is he home not later than 6 p.m.? If he is home after 6 p.m., so this event has happened, what is the probability that he took route B? So, something is reversed here, you could observe. So, while you read this problem, this particular part, top part of this slide, this says if he chooses, then what is the probability to reach? But here the idea is reversed. If he is home after 6, this event is known to you, but what is the probability that he took route B? That is the question difference as far as the problems are concerned. So, here in what the proportion of time is he come not later than 6 p.m. We are interested in the third event of given problem, and the second problem is question makes you to think reverse of the given information. That is, one in a particular day he is home at after 6 p.m. on a particular day. So, here it is not later than, what is the probability that he took route B? So, how to connect from the given set of events and then naming them, and then understand the question, translate the question part into your required event names. So, from this example I would like to convey once again, there could be some mutually exclusive events, there may be a common event. This problem gives rise to an idea to generalize something, we call it as Bayes theorem. Let us generalize here comparing this example and this particular part. So, we are given with n mutually exclusive events. So, we write them as E1, E2 etcetera En, whose union equals S, the sample space, with this property that Ei intersection Ej will be empty, that is what we mean to say mutually exclusive, and union of Ei would be the sample space. There is an event A which is a subset of union of all Ei. So, this description is very important. I would like to compare this with the previous problem which is discussed at length. So, instead of 2 we made n generally. This event A which is likely to be a subset of union of all A's, something we can remember them as common to this E1 and E2. So, this route A and route B, there is a commonality that in what sense he reaches home. In that sense we can understand an event A which is a subset of union of Ei. So, this is a pictorial way just to illustrate. This is a total sample space S, and there may be many E's. So, the dotted lines indicate some sections of the sample space is being described as mutually exclusive events. So, E1 it could be E1, it could be E2, E3, E4 and so on so forth. And I have indicated the A as something as a union. So, union is obviously S, therefore, A is a subset of S. So, the idea is A contains some points of E1, E3, E7, E9, need not be any point of E8 or E6 or E4, E2, something like that. So, the picture should be viewed carefully that A is union of E's. So, few points of A might come from few E's, need not be all. Of course, it can be, but not necessarily always. To understand that idea, this A is being drawn like this, it could be like here or here, anywhere the problem expects to have. What Bayes theorem finally says to us is, we have probability of A are known in prior, and P of A given A, the conditional probability are also known to us. Then we are calculating something, a reversal idea, A given Ei, now we are interested in Ej given A through this formula. Formulas are easy to understand once we find how it is being derived and in what sense it is calculated. So, ultimately Bayes theorem will be calculated based on the given information, where you may have some mutually exclusive events and there may be a event which is subset of union of EIs. In a very simple informal language, we could say A can be a common event where the event of A might have some elements of E1, some elements of E2, no elements of E3, no elements of E4 and so on and so forth. So, in a typical in an academic institution perspective, if you look at, I have 5 classes, I mean one branch A, branch E1, branch E2, branch E3, E4, E5. So, that a student of E1 may not cannot be in E2 and so on and so forth, they are mutually exclusive. A can be a common event in the sense a student might be interested in sports. So, there might be no students interested in E3. Therefore, element of A will never include elements of E3. Okay. Therefore, this graph or the diagram what we observe indicates that A contains elements of E's, some E's. So, there is a possibility that there may be some E's whose elements will not be, none of the elements will be in A. That is a description here, and we are calculating this posterior probability in this method. So, this idea is very simple, the proof which requires only 2 or 3 steps of. So, the proof of Bayes theorem requires a very simple mathematical idea. First of all, let us understand our given data. So, I have n mutually exclusive events. So, that E I intersection E j is empty. Then I will have A is a subset of union of E i's, where of course I is running over 1 to n. So, I explained to you that elements of A may be elements of E1 or E2 or and so on so forth. So, I can write like this, A is nothing but A intersection E1. So, or A intersection E2. If you keenly observe, this might be empty. In a sense, in the classroom example, in the branch E1 there is no student who is sports interested or sports person, whatever the terminology we fix for A, or it could be A intersection E n. Few of them are not necessarily always, may be empty. So, each of this A intersection E1, A intersection E2 etcetera will be mutually exclusive. Suppose I have an element in A intersection E1 intersection A intersection E2, you could find out a immediate contradiction that X I will be in E1 and E2. So, which is a contradiction, because we have a fact that they are mutually exclusive. So, the contradiction will be connected to this particular part. Therefore, it cannot be these all each set A intersection E1 etcetera are mutually exclusive. So, I have a straight result connecting P of A equal to P of A intersection E1 plus etcetera etcetera. I am using axiom 3 of probability A intersection E n. So, we have this result, defining it by conditional probability. This will be P of E1 into P of A given E1 plus etcetera plus P of E n into P of A given E n. This can be written in symbolic way, P of E j into P of A given E j. That is all. So, now we are coming to the last part of our result. So, suppose we are interested in P of E j as per the statement we observe, as per definition it is P of E j intersection A divided by P of A. So, I think we are done. From this expression P of A, you have this, and in the numerator I can have this as P of E j into P of A given E j. So, denominator remains to be P of A, which is already proved in this particular part. So, the mathematical aspect of Bayes theorem is very simple. From the given mutually exclusive events, I have the given result, I apply the idea of mutually exclusive, nothing else, definition of conditional probability. Once again the definition of conditional probability is being used to identify all these results. Therefore, the idea to prove Bayes theorem is very straight if you closely follow the information given in the theorem, Bayes theorem, mutually exclusive, a common event. So, how it is being enumerated, reckoned, so that the set theoretical mutually exclusive property or disjoint property is being used, then conditional probability is being used to derive that particular theorem. So, I just find one more example where Bayes theorem is typically being applied. The chances of x, y, z becoming managers of a certain company are 4:2:3, 3 events which are mutually exclusive, any one of them. So, 4/9, 2/9 and 3/9. The probabilities that bonus scheme will be introduced if x, y, z become managers are. So, there are 3 more numbers if the condition if is being observed closely. If x becomes manager, the probability of bonus being introduced is 0.3, 0.5 is similar for y, 0.8 is for z. So, we have to understand that how many events we have now. E1 is x being manager, E2 y becomes manager, E3 z becomes manager. So, there are 3 numbers for us, P of E1. From the odds we have 4 divided by 4 plus 2, 6 plus 3, 9. Similarly, P of E2 is 2/9 and P of E3 is 3/9. So, ultimately we have this part. Then one more event is we have A as bonus scheme is being introduced. So, the given information has to be deciphered carefully. If x becomes manager, that means E1 happens, the chance of A is 0.3. Similarly, P of A given E2 is 0.5 and P of A given E3, which is when Z becomes manager. If Z becomes manager, bonus scheme is introduced 0.8. Now, if the bonus scheme is introduced, that you know already, that is the interesting part. All this information is if x becomes manager, then bonus scheme should be introduced. Now, the question is reversed. I know that bonus scheme is being introduced. What is the probability that x is appointed as the manager? So, x is for E1 is for x, I have the answer E1. Bayes theorem will provide the answer as P of E1 into P of A given E1 whole divided by sum of those conditional probability, P of EI into P of A given EI. Now, I is running over 1 to 3. So, I leave the calculation part because it is just plugging the values, and the idea is in under what circumstances Bayes theorem being applied. It cannot be compulsorily applied in each and every problem of discussion. It is a very strict necessary where one set of information is known to us. We are interested in cases like this where this probability is being reversed with the help of that. So, prior, likelihood and then posterior probabilities are being calculated with Bayes theorem. In summarizing this discussion, we need to understand what is the way to write the description of the given situation very clearly with the help of events, numeric data and the set theoretical identities or the definitions. It may be the basic union, intersection, complementation or conditional probability, whatever the way we need to relate the given events and connect with the given numerical data, then understand the given situation of problems, the situation explained in the question part. So, I generally divide information part and the question part, divide them carefully, pick them, decipher them carefully and then write down whether we require Bayes theorem. With the help of the mathematical proof, we need to understand under what situation we need to use Bayes theorem. That is more important than just finding out the mathematical proof. So, there may be one or two examples which is typically following the similar fashion. There are 3 agencies and what kind of commonality you could find out, car renting from, and 10% of the cars and so on and so forth are bad tires. So, bad tire could be a commonality among the given data. So, in what way this question is being answered. So, I expect one more the problem can be completed with the numerical data. This is the idea of completing the problems with the help of Bayes theorem. Thank you for joining the session.